name is Joshua Riboldi. I'm doing my financial report on Tesla Motors. I chose this company because I think their mission statement is really cool. They want to progress the use of electric vehicles. I'm also a big fan of their CEO, Elon Musk, and the efforts he has taken to change the world through his different companies. I also think their cars are really awesome as well. The income statement. Tesla was not profitable in 2012 or 2013. In 2012, they had a net loss of $396 million, and in 2013 they had a net loss of $74 million. This is $322 million less than the year before. To project the future earnings and revenue of Tesla, I took the growth that they had from 2012 to 2013 and projected that same growth for years 2014 to 2018. And then I projected about a 6% net income from revenues. Now I'm going to go over a few of Tesla's ratios. Tesla has had a strong gross profit margin when compared to some of its peers. Its gross profit margin is around 22.6, while Ford has a gross profit margin of 12.8. And this is a relatively high profit margin due to the high price point of the Tesla vehicles. Some of Tesla's vehicles can cost up to $120,000, and companies like Ford might be seeing a lower gross profit margin because their cars are targeting people with less disposable income. And these less expensive cars usually have a lower gross profit margin as well. Tesla is a little bit below average with its debt to capital and debt to assets ratio. Ford's debt to capital, it's at 47.6, and Ford's debt to assets, it's at 25.1. This could mean that the company has done well at managing its debt. This is due to companies' focus on one market segment. They're focusing on the luxury or car segment. Other large companies may many times have several new products coming out at the same time, and Tesla's been good at focusing on one project at a time. Tesla's inventory turnover is at 3.7, and this is the lowest out of the competitors that I was using. I was using GM, Ford, Toyota, Nissan, Honda, and Suzuki. This can be expected because Tesla is a much smaller company and sells a lot fewer cars than some of these bigger companies. And also their cars are more expensive. In my report, I listed 10 different things that are impacting Tesla's earnings, but right now I'm just going to focus on 3. One of them is the financial market is now gaining financial stability, and that's going to impact Tesla's earnings. Tesla is focusing on entering new markets like Europe and China, and Tesla's also beginning to sell more cars, and so economies of scale are now working for their benefit. Coming out of the financial crisis will definitely affect Tesla's earnings, because as we come out of the financial crisis, customers are going to have more disposable income, and with Tesla's Model S priced around $70,000, cars have been marked to sell towards the upper class. Although The upper class sometimes is impacted less during a financial crisis. I think we can expect sales to continue to grow. Emerging markets in China and other Asian countries will have a positive effect on Tesla's earnings. Over the next 10 years, Tesla is going to be expanding into China and other Asian countries, and it is estimated that roughly 20% of the world's population lives within the borders of China. So expansion to China and this part of the world will bring a lot of future opportunity for growth. Economies of scale will work towards Tesla's advantage as they set up their fixed costs. Building a car manufacturing facility is one of the greatest expenses for the car manufacturers. And as Tesla Motors is maturing and reaching a large customer base, it will sell more cars at a cheaper variable cost. In my report, I found 10 drivers for Tesla Motors, and three that I'm going to talk about now are car price, network of superchargers, and environmental benefits. Tesla's consciousness for the environment helps drive their sales. As the public becomes more conscientious of rising CO2 levels in the atmosphere, Tesla cars will continue to look more attractive to customers. On the other hand, rising gas prices give incentives for people to buy Tesla cars. Tesla has agreed to provide free supercharger stations where Tesla vehicles can be charged within 20 minutes. So these are high, powerful superchargers. It's estimated that the Model S could save about $1,800 per year in fuel costs to its owners. The network of supercharger stations is a driver in the market demand. Customers that purchase electric vehicles want to make sure there is a convenient way for them to get from point A to point B without running out of battery. So Tesla's working really hard on creating a network of supercharger stations that will allow their cars to be charged quickly, so that their owners can continue their journey. And as they execute this vision of creating a network of superchargers, it's going to have a great effect on driving the success for Tesla Motors. The ability for customers to finance Tesla vehicles will determine future success. The Model S is 30% less expensive than the Roadster. This is an incentive to help more people buy the vehicle. Within the next 3 years, Tesla plans to release an even less expensive car, and they hope that this car will attract a large majority of vehicle owners. To help with the financial burden of purchasing the electric cars, the United States federal tax credit has provided buyers with a $7,500 discount for purchasing alternative fuel vehicles. And this added support from the government will help drive sales on electric vehicles. In the Excel file, the tab listed WACC. I have Tesla's weighted average cost of capital done using the CAPM model, the Gordon Growth model, and the YTM benchmark model. In the first section above the CAPM model, I have the variables for the WACC equation. Note my cost of preferred equity and the weight of preferred equity is 0 here because Tesla Motors hasn't had any preferred equity for the past 4 years. For each model, I have the variables listed, with the last variable being the cost of common equity. Next to the last variable, I have the WACC calculated for that model, with the required cells referenced. And this is why you see a different WACC in each section in my Excel sheet. Under the first calculations, then I have calculated the cost of capital on a project with the same capital structure but located in Spain. To calculate these differences, I found the risk-free rate for the United States, and then I found the risk-free rate for Spain. The risk-free rate for the United States is 2.371, while the risk-free rate for Spain is 2.109. I then found the difference of these rates and subtracted that to the risk-free rate used in the CAPM model. I then recalculated the WACC using the new risk-free rate adjusted for Spain. Since the Gordon Growth model and the YTM model don't have their own risk-free rate, I took the difference of the United States and the Spain risk-free rate and subtracted that difference directly from the WACC, which calculates our new WACC for doing a project with the same capital structure but located in Spain. In my Excel worksheet, under the section titled NPV and IRR, I calculated the net present value and the IRR using Tesla's cash flows from EBITDA as a proxy for cash flow. The first cash flow is 6% of revenue. I then added cash flows of 10%, 15%, and 20% of revenue to provide a deeper analysis of the NPV. And this was done if the cash flows happen to be not as I expected, if they happen to be more than 6%. After defining the cash flows, I added the terminal value, and I did this by multiplying the last cash flow by 8. I used 8 because 8 was the multiplier that we used in class to find the terminal value. I then made a table that calculated NPV of different cash flows using rates 1.86 through 9.86, with 5.86 being my WACC calculated during the CAPM model. I chose to use this WACC in my CAPM model as my average rate because I felt the CAPM model was the most accurate because it uses its own risk-free rate. For my analysis, I believe the most accurate net present value of Tesla to be 86 billion, and I chose this because it's the NPV using the EBITDA at 6% of revenues and the rate at 5.86. Like I said before, I'm taking this rate from the CAPM model, which I think is the most accurate. It's also important to note that there are no IRR because there was no initial investment. After researching Tesla, I recommend to buy. At first glance, looking at Tesla's PE and PEG ratio, one might think to sell Tesla stock. Its PE and PEG ratio are 59.9 and 0.47, which are some of the highest out of the 6 competitors I chose. The average PE and PEG ratios out of its competitor were 12.5 and 0.78. This shows that the stock is expensive when being compared to earnings. Although Tesla's stock price may be overvalued, I do believe that the company will continue to grow, and we will see a rise in their stock price as they continue to grow. Tesla has shown that they have a strong demand for their Roadster and Model S vehicles, and I believe that we're going to continue to see strong demand for these, the newer vehicles that Tesla's going to be coming out with. And they're also going to be coming out with their newest car is going to be targeting a lower income bracket, which will make even more people able to buy the Tesla vehicle. Tesla has been able to build a strong reputation for delivering good-looking, high-performance cars and this will set them up for great growth over the next couple of years.